Hai guys, my name is Ryan Sumardi and welcome back to my channel. Hari ini kita akan berdiskusi sedikit tentang apa sih yang kita dapat pelajari dari sebuah film yang berjudul Startup di Netflix. Okay, so I believe that a lot of you probably watch the show. It's ongoing, but up to this point sebenarnya itu ada banyak banget yang bisa kita pelajari dari film tersebut ataupun dari drama tersebut. Setiap episode memiliki berbagai pelajaran yang berbeda. Hal yang pertama yang gue pelajarin sebenarnya dari Startup punya movie itu adalah when you're smart at the younger age, it doesn't necessarily means that you will be successful. That is actually very true. Banyak dari kita itu dari tuntutan orang tua kita, dari kecil kita dipaksa untuk belajar and to strive well for your own good, for your own benefit and all that. But there are a lot of success stories that yang menunjukkan bahwa kalau even if you are the top in your class or you're the smartest person in your school, bukan berarti kamu bakal menjadi seorang yang sukses. Is that true though? Well, yes, unless kalau kamu kerja untuk orang, which means you're not your own boss. If you want to be a boss, not necessarily smart, but you just need to be intelligent. Kamu harus pintar, tapi bukan berarti kamu smartnya itu adalah kayak in doing things, like kerjain PR dan sebagainya. It's not like that. Tapi kamu harus punya intelligence untuk memikirkan sebuah peluang. Nah, that is the one that will generally be the leader or the boss, or you own your own business. Nah, hal yang kedua yang gue pelajari adalah when you are being a smart person, even if you are the smartest person in the room, kamu belum tentu adalah seorang leader yang baik ataupun seorang CEO yang baik. Kenapa? You are smart, but you know what you can do if somebody tell you what to do. Nah, orang tersebut memiliki sebuah mentality di mana kamu dikasih tugas, kamu bisa kerjain dengan baik. Tapi you are focused on the task. Kamu nggak bisa fokus tentang bagaimana cari opportunity, bagaimana cara untuk menghasilkan uang dari hal tersebut. Nah, dalam film itu, cewek yang bernama Seo Dalmi ini adalah contoh tipe orang CEO yang baik. Kenapa? She is smart, but she knows how to talk, she knows how to think about opportunity for this. Dia bukan orang yang sangat intelijen tentang AI, or tentang produk yang dihasilkan, atau dia gak bisa membuat sebuah produk, tetapi dia tahu cara memarket, dia tahu cara untuk memimpin timnya, untuk mencapai kesuksesan. Sedangkan orang yang menjadi karakter utamanya, yaitu Nam Do-san, this guy is the brain, dia otaknya, and he knows how to do things, tapi he is not great in finding opportunity. Jadi, if you watch the movie, there was a point that mereka actually menang award, right? Si Nam Do-san and his friend menang awards from the US, but they don't know how to make money with that particular apps that won the award. It's the simplest thing. Even if you have the greatest invention in the world, kamu menciptakan sesuatu yang paling bagus, misalnya nih yang paling ngehit sekarang adalah self-driving car yang lebih hebat daripada Tesla, lebih hebat daripada Apple, lebih hebat daripada produksi manapun self-driving car. If you don't know how to market it, then it's still the same thing. Gak bisa diapa-apain gitu loh. Jadi ya basically doesn't work like that. And if you know how to do great things, orang barang-barang bagus. Tapi kalau kamu nggak tahu cara market, kamu terlambat memarket, kamu terlambat mematenkan, somebody will copy it from you. And then they will get all the credit. Because what? You are just slow or you are late from marketing it. Okay? Hal yang ketiga adalah yang gue lihat di episode yang gue nonton adalah episode terakhir dari 6 episode yang baru keluarin. Itu adalah how to differentiate a boss and a leader. A boss necessarily just says, hey, do this, do that. I want you to do this, do that. I will think about how to market it, but I want you to do this. Basically diperintah. But as a leader, think about it. leadernya juga membantu memikirkan, membantu cara untuk berpikir untuk tim membernya dia ketika mereka mengalami kesusahan. Nah, dalam movie episode ke-5 atau ke-6, there was a competition and also they were facing troubles. They are facing problem and the girl, Seodalmi, actually helped the Namdo-san, the guy, the brain of that particular team, to figure out a problem instead of leaving him to do it by himself. That's a leader, right? When your team member have problem, help them out. So work as a team, and a leader is different than a boss. So there's also another character that I was actually pretty interested in looking at his character, yaitu the guy who is called the good boy since the beginning of the movie. Kalau kamu nonton dari awal, he got titled as the good boy. Well, think about it this way. He is an investor, or he's a person that is really mean at you. Kadang-kadang itu kita sebagai seseorang memiliki sebuah ambisi, right? If I create something great, I am obsessed with my stuff. I didn't see it from outside perspective. Nah, this guy who is called a good boy and also as an investor, dia tahu bahwa kadang-kadang itu orang dikelabui oleh mimpi kita sendiri. Sehingga dia to the point aja ngomongnya. He is blunt at you. Dia ngomongnya kasar. Nggak kasar juga sih, kayak in a way dia bilang, you will never succeed if you keep doing this. Almost like slapping you in the face, like you are not gonna be a good CEO. Bro, but I've been the CEO the past few years. And then dia langsung ngomong, no wonder your company will never succeed because you are the CEO, because it's just not your job. You're not doing a great job. Kayak lu ditampar gitu loh, kayak you're just dumb basically gitu. Tapi kayak some people need those kind of people. Why? You need a wake up call. Sometimes you're just living your dreams and you just like need to be slapped so that you wake up. So that's what it is, right? So sebenarnya ya, why do people start a startup? In other countries, it's simple because it's quite easy to start. Boleh dikatakan mereka punya birokrasinya nggak gitu ribet lah, nggak seribet di Indonesia. Terus juga they could find funding pretty easily. Kadang-kadang mereka ada kayak fair yang lu bisa cari funding dan sebagainya. Di Indonesia, not many people have that opportunity juga. Nah, startup di Indonesia itu lumayan banyak sebenarnya. But they will be lucky enough to find a great investor that invest in them. Kita boleh pikirin dari dulu itu yang startup yang sukses ya. Sekarang itu adalah Gojek. Gojek was a successful startup. Ticket.com, Traveloka and all that. They used to be a startup. Mocha is also a great one. Kayak it was a startup, but now they are no longer a startup because they're still a startup, but it's more of like a well-established company. So there are some steps that is taken into consideration waktu lu mulai startup. Ya, yang pertama yang lu harus miliki adalah good concept, good idea, business idea. You have a good plan, and then after that you start with the funding, right? Of course, kalau kamu butuh keuangannya. Yang pertama adalah seed capital. Once you get the seed capital, it's usually from angel investor or venture capitalist. Baru, you start with a Series A, B, C funding, and then when you are developed in the later stage of a startup, and then at the end, you will start with an IPO atau initial public offering, atau lu jual saham basically ke orang banyak, ke public, supaya orang bisa fund lu punya company. Nah, itu adalah beberapa stages dari mulai nol until it's done. The hardest part is generally at the first stage. Ya, di mana seed stage itu, if you pass that particular stage, usually, kebanyakan dia bakal pelan-pelan naik. Kenapa sih di Indonesia banyak banget orang mau buat startup? Kepikiran deh idea startupnya. Well, there are a few people that actually are ahead. Pikirannya udah ke depan gitu. Banyak banget teman-teman kita itu yang graduate from other countries. They are smart, they came back, and then what? Mereka kerja di company yang basically give them a salary of like starting point-nya 11 juta, 10 juta. And then you'll be like, total yang gue spend untuk education gue itu kira-kira 2 miliar. And then after that gue mau bayar berapa tahun baru bisa dapat 2 miliar gue. gitu loh. Kayak your return on investment is too slow. Jadi some people was just like, ya udah gue coba buat bisnis sendiri deh. Ya untung aja kalau lu punya modal. Kalau enggak, that's why they start a startup, because they don't have that much capital on their hand to start a business. Tapi kalau lu punya capitalnya, ya why not gitu kan. Langsung dibantuin sama orang tua, keluarga. That's how you start. But if you don't have gak ada modalnya, ya lu harus pakai pemikiran sebuah startup gitu untuk memulai sebuah bisnis di Indonesia. Unless you're just like a reseller or you just like a distributor, it's different kalau gitu ya. So, hey guys, that's just a part of what I've learned. Basically, apa yang gue pelajari dari film startup and apa yang gue rasa bisa di-apply di Indonesia. Well, think about it as a good lessons learned from the movie. I mean, any movies nowadays, you can look at it. There are two different ways of looking at the movie. One, lu bisa just take all the positive or lessons learned from the movie. Or the second, you just watch the movie for fun. So, I mean, you guys can start watching the movie if you want, or the drama series if you want. But, gua kasih tahu dulu, jangan nyesel ya kalau lu udah mulai nonton, terus sampai because it's an ongoing drama, right? And then sampai episode 6 terus lu kayak stuck, lu harus nunggu. Kayak gua sekarang harus nunggu episodenya itu kayak Saturday and Sunday. Guys, thank you for watching this video. And I hope to see you guys again next week. So, stay tuned. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask me in the comment column, or you can send me an email. You have my social media account down there. Don't forget to give me a like if you think that this video is helpful for you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys again next week. Goodbye.